If you would like to read this particular article, you can go to justinstellman.com/A2. Entertain ideas without attachment. I always find it really interesting when I'm having a conversation with somebody and I can see how attached to their opinions they really are. For some people, they are so attached to their opinions that they see themselves as the embodiment of their beliefs. They make the mistaken assumption that they are one and the same. For example, people will say, I'm a raw vegan, or I'm a Republican, or I'm a this, I'm a that, as if the totality of their being and their eternal nature is that one thing that they think they are. It's strange, right? Do you ever notice how attached to ideas people are? Maybe you're reading this right now and you're thinking of your right-wing dad or your liberal mother. Now, I come from a very Christian worldview, and people with that line of thinking become very attached to their ideas. They think they are, quote, Christians, even though the term Christian wasn't even used during Jesus' time on earth. You see, when we attach so tightly to these ideas, we lie to ourselves and actually hypnotize our subconscious mind to make us one with our opinions. That's why when somebody attacks your opinion, your cortisol goes up and other stress-related hormones begin to rise. You feel personally attacked. You feel like these people are attacking you. That's because you've convoluted yourself into thinking that you are your opinions. Humans are really weird, aren't we? I mean, why do we feel the need to actually become our opinions? I think one of the reasons is we feel like we're not enough. We don't feel like people will love us just for being us. So we need to attach ourselves to ideas in order to gain the love and acceptance of family or friends. I know people in my own family, as well as some of my friends, who are the full embodiment of what I'm talking about here. With that said, I've run into some traps with regards to this. There's nothing wrong with thinking that we are our opinions. It happens all the time. It's part of being human. But what I'm constantly working on in my life is to create enough space where I can consciously recognize the patterns of behavior that I want to change. You see, if I feel like a person I'm speaking with is attacking my point of view on something, I immediately understand what's going on. I begin to feel a tightness in my stomach and my blood pressure starts to rise. If they make fun of my opinion or mock me in some way in front of other people, isn't it hard to be ultra spiritual and above it all? I find it very difficult. So when I'm in a situation where somebody is mocking me for my point of view about something, I immediately detach from having to defend my position. Notice how I said my position. The position is always there. It's eternal, really. Opinions, ideas, and points of view are there and have been there before you even came along. It's just that since we like that particular point of view, we choose to verbalize it. When we verbalize an opinion that we've adopted, we take ownership of it, as if that opinion is somehow ours. We are so crazy to think that we somehow came up with a new opinion about something. I mean, ideas have been around us for eternity. Like Solomon from the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. The problem arises when we verbalize some idea to other people. What I've been trying to do is to look at the verbalization process as one in which I am some sort of conduit for ideas. It's almost like I'm a sieve and ideas flow into me, get filtered by my own story, as well as life experiences, and then gets mixed in with a side of my personality and speaking style, and then gets spoken. All the while, the idea or opinion was there before it reached me. It just used me as a way to express itself and birth itself into the world. The root of suffering is attachment, says Buddha. You see, I am not an idea. I'm not an opinion. These are all things that flow through me, but they're not me. Am I any less of a human if I change my opinion from being a raw vegan to eating a paleo diet? Has my soul been affected by either of these two ways of eating? No. In the same way, who we are at the core is not what we think, is not what we do, it's not what we have, what sex our body is, or anything else. See, when I see people debating ideas, I can see who really embodies their ideas. That's where the real danger comes in. Recognize. But how do I recognize in my own life that I'm attaching to my ideas if there's no resistance? It's really easy to see that you're attached to ideas when people attack them. Like we said before, you feel tense and stressed when that happens. So that's actually a really great way to recognize we're becoming one with our ideas. But what if somebody actually agrees with you? What if people think every opinion you have is the greatest thing since sliced bread? Then it takes long to recognize the merging between the two. Aristotle said, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." When that happens, it's usually a good idea to keep tabs on language patterns. Do you see that you're using the word "I" a lot? When you find that you're talking about yourself at the exclusion of having a dialogue, not a monologue, that could be an indication that you're getting wrapped up in ego. If you feel a sort of pride and ownership of your ideas, that's another way of saying that you're blurring the line between who you really are and your opinions. One of the best tools you can use is something called the EM Way by the folks over at the Heart Math Institute. This tool measures your sympathetic nervous system response by monitoring your heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is the variations between the highest portion and the lowest portion of your heartbeat. The area in between represents your subconscious nervous system. It tells you if there's a connection between your thoughts and your heart. It's a really pretty sophisticated little tool. With that said, it's better not to rely on third-party tools in order to monitor what's going on inside our bodies. We must not become attached to them either. Releasing attachments, be they physical or non-physical, is our duty. When we can fully shrug off the things and ideas that weigh us down, it is only then that we can fully embrace who we really are. All of our ideas and things mixed in with how crazy our society is causes us to forget the bigger questions in life. We forget that we are soul. We forget that we are eternal beings living in corporeal bodies. The third layer of attachment. Because we identify with these things, emotion becomes another layer of attachment. We cry when people insult us. We get mad when people treat us poorly. We desperately want other people to think the same way we do. We crave for it. We yearn for it. We have lost our identity in the confusion and busyness of life. We have no idea who we are, what we're doing, or more importantly, where the hell we're going. Basically, we don't know what the fuck is going on. How can we reclaim our real identity? What does it take? Well, first we must cut ties with people, circumstances, and ideas and stuff that we think is actually us. So what does that mean? Here's a quote from Fight Club. "We're the middle children of history, no purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives. We have all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. And we're slowly learning that fact. If you watch the news every night before bed, that's one thing you can get rid of. If you hang out with friends who are obsessed with insignificant things in life like fashion or popularity, then you need to ditch them like a bad habit. If you're around negative people, find new friends. We need to systematically look at every area of our lives that either keeps us distracted or controlled and seek to cut away that cancer. These things only serve to disempower us. Once we've gotten rid of the bad things, then it's time to start doing some contemplation exercises and do some spiritual work and perhaps read more books. Try taking a yoga class that really challenges you to ground yourself. Try meditation as a challenge and make it a commitment to stick to it for 30 days straight for 5 minutes a day, or start doing some qigong or other exercises that actually causes you to reflect and clear your mind. It's the silence in the stillness that we discover who the hell we are. You're not going to find out your mission in life by remaining busy all day long and filling your mind with useless gossip from your friends. I've worked on this every single day. Every single day I work on this. It's not easy and it's a real challenge. We feel secure when we can embrace ideas and call them our own. The ideas create a nice little barrier from the outside world that wants to challenge us. Humans want to feel safe and secure. It's just in our nature. We crave it and we need it. But personally, I'm not interested in ideas that are self-limiting. I always want to read the opposite side of arguments. If I'm a Christian, I want to read books about atheism. If I'm somebody who believes in the globe model of the earth, I want to expose myself to information about how the earth might be flat. By doing this, not only do you expose yourself to new ideas and challenge your mind to disregard old patterns of thought that no longer serve you, but you do something much more important. You realize that none of these ideas are really you. They're just yours to play with for a few years on Earth. So don't defend them like they're your own. Like I said, I'm working on this every single day. I'm constantly reviewing my habits, my line of thought, and what I'm holding on to. If you want to let go of non-physical ideas, but don't know where to start, consider this. The physical world is a representation of the invisible world and vice versa. It's easier to get rid of stuff than it is to completely change your worldview about big ideas. By doing the latter, you might be mocked or rejected by family and friends. That's a much bigger blow to our ego than simply getting rid of stuff. So go through your house and make it an exercise to get rid of things that you have an attachment to. Maybe they're old photos or letters from an ex-boyfriend or wife. If they have sentimental value to you, consider getting rid of it. Now, this exercise will help shake the foundation that's been solidified and hardened by years of non-confrontation. This will help you build momentum for also letting go of bad habits and opinions that no longer serve you. Now, as I type this, Kate is going through our apartment and doing just that. Whenever she asks me if she should keep something, she knows what the answer is. I always say, get rid of it. There's something just so freeing in that. The physical represents the spiritual. In actuality, this is a spiritual exercise, even though you think you're just getting rid of, quote, stuff. Once you realize you are slowly losing attachments to physical things, you can carry out that momentum to ideas, opinions, and judgments you have in the non-physical world. What a liberating experience. Our culture does a good job of making us think that we are slaves, whether economically or spiritually. So when we take back control of certain aspects of our lives, it opens up the awareness that maybe we can do the exact same thing in other areas of our life. You must always have a reason for doing something. Don't just get rid of sentimental items in your house for no reason. Leverage the event for deeper meaning. It's like working out. I work out for a myriad of other reasons than just having big muscles. If you can find a deeper reason for doing the things you're doing, it'll be much easier to build momentum in other areas. So I'll leave you with that. But before that, what tips do you have for not identifying with your ideas or stuff? Comment below. So if you'd like to leave a comment on this article, just go to justinstellman.com/A2 and you can check out the links as well as all the other information in the article.